Trustee Lopez, did you hear from Bonnie?
I have not.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause it's two.
Good afternoon. Take this down.
Good afternoon.
The November 4th, 2021 regular board meeting of the City Colleges of Chicago is now called to order. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will the chief advisor please call the roll?
Trustee Swanson?
Here.
Trustee Davis?
Here.
Trustee Kent? Here. Trustee Lopez?
Here.
Trustee Tillman?
Here.
Trustee Williams?
Present.
Student Trustee Basil Hogue.
Present.
Great. Let the record show that in accordance with the Illinois Public Community College Act and the Illinois Opening Meetings Act, we have a quorum.
I'm on the phone also.
Oh,
Okay.
terrific.
Oh,
Thank
Chair
you, Dr.
Massey.
Chair Massey, present.
Thank you for giving over to me. Right?
You can't see them. I was joking, no, thanks for being here. So again, hello, everyone. Welcome to our meeting. Today, I'm very pleased to see you. And thank you, President Lopez, for hosting our meeting once again and for all joining today. Before we get fully underway, I will note for the record that Chair Massey, as you just heard, and Trustee Lopez and Trustee Tolman are participating by phone today. This is allowable under our board bylaws, Article 1.5.3, Sections A through C, provided there is a quorum in the room. As the Chief Advisor has just noted, we do have quorum today. So with that, I will turn to our student trustee to start with his report.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to begin by acknowledging the leadership of our college presidents, the services and support you bring to our campus for our academic success are felt by thousands of students. They are shaping and preparing our lives for a better future. As an immigrant and not knowing anything about this nation, when I came here as a refugee, I can say for sure that I could not have envisioned going to college without the existence of city colleges. We, the students, admire your leadership. With that being said, I would like to begin my November report. Malcolm X SGA Executive Report. The Malcolm X SGA has innovated what we do given that only about 20% of our students are on campus for classes. We are holding events in different ways, in person, online, and streaming on Facebook Live. Student engagement is lower than we would like due to Zoom fatigue and low number of students on campus. But the students that do show up are excited and have a great time. We recently conducted an online survey with our students and found out that 51% of our respondents preferred online classes, 30% preferred a hybrid settings, and we are and only 23 preferred in person. Respondents also identified other issues, and we are following up on those. Olive Harvey College mission statement, developing the diverse environment of cultural and civic leadership, and have excellence in academia, learning, support services, as well as student involvement. Homecoming dance has been moved to November 12th, and SGA will also be co-sponsoring Veterans Day luncheon on November 11th at 12:30 p.m. SGA and Panther Food Pantry is sponsoring the Thanksgiving luncheon on Monday, November 22nd at 12:30 p.m. and distribution of 40 Thanksgiving boxes with turkey, ham, or chicken and trimmings for a holiday meal to a student that enter a drawing. Harriet Truman College, one thing is for sure, here at Truman, we truly believe in our campus, our culture, and the support that we receive from our faculty and staff. And leadership team. From the beginning of the semester, we have worked really hard with Dr. Jackson and the leadership team to create a sense of connection and engaging experience for everyone across campus in spite of the current times. And we first want to thank him and our advisors for their continued support and allowing us to create magic together. Along with our code drive service project, our PTK will be hosting a sock drive and Trust Busters project. We will then end the semester with our annual Thanksgiving basket raffle that is co-sponsored by various departments on campus. Last, but currently not least, we would like to highlight and share just how proud we are of our very own Falcon Imran Fazal Haq. You may know him as our student trustee, but to us, he is that and so much more. Imran has been selected as the reporting fellow for the Pulitzer Center from the city colleges this year to cover underreported stories of people's lives. The project has been completed and he has written 5 articles in total. He explores the journey of the Rohingya diaspora in the US, investigating the emotional complexity of their new lives. Imran, we are super honored and proud to have you sit in this seat to represent the students' voice, but in the words of Dr. Jackson, it's all about Tuan Truman. Congratulations, Imran, and we cannot wait to read your articles. Daly College, PTK is hosting a Day of the Dead event on November 1st at 2:30 p.m. The Higher Learning Center Engagement Committee will be presenting a Walking Taco Tuesday event. Free walking taco for Delhi's on-campus community. Informational flyers about HLC will be distributed. We will be participating in a Thanksgiving cooking show in collaboration with Kennedy King College. Harold Washington College, for October of the fall 2021 semester, Harold Washington College SGA has focused on the interest of students and how to increase engagement. Internally, the executive board has had to adjust to changes in leadership, and the transition has been smooth. Some of our highlighted developments for the month include there are now 9 formulated clubs at Harold Washington College, meeting both virtually and in person. The budget continues to be used to aid our club leaders in their events. We are working alongside with Ling Trang Williams and the administration and faculty on the promotion of the citizenship campaign launch event of the Leadership Center in November. Halloween Midterm Hooray, SGA's biggest event of the month, was hosted on October 28 with an excellent turnout and was well received. Wright College. Wright SGA was contacted by the College Faculty Council leadership about the decisions being made about courses modalities for the spring 2021 semester. In response, Wright SGA swiftly acted in working with the staff, admins, and faculty to survey students and received over 1,800 individual responses regarding the matter. The survey indicates a need for both virtual and in-person modalities. However, over 77% of current students express need to register for online synchronous courses, and in-person courses being the least needed at 35%. Kennedy King College Mission Fall 2021, Kennedy King Student Government Association's goal is to create a social environment for students, including in-person Zoom activities. All activities follow up to date with COVID-19 safety guidelines. Activities provide introverted and extroverted students to participate in social activities. Upcoming events for October, November 11th, Open Mic Prize will be distributed to first, second, and third winners. November 15th, Student Town Hall Meeting. November 22nd, Food Drive. Acknowledging that one human being is equal to another will lead to a fairer earth. This concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Chancellor, I'll turn to you for your remarks.
Thank you. Student trustee, good afternoon, everybody. Student trustee, I think that we are in complete alignment about making sure that our students have choices to the modalities that are best for them at this moment in time. And so I want to thank the efforts that everyone, our provost leading the charge, with our vice presidents, with our presidents, have put together to create a schedule that provides for those choices. And I really appreciate just the active leadership of the SGAs in all of what they're doing, but in particular the survey work that's been done too. I think it's important to do that work, and want to applaud you all for being methodical and careful in that process. We are coming off a very inspiring and productive October. City Colleges and Daly College were graced with a visit by First Lady Dr. Joe Biden, the U.S. Department of Education Secretary Miguel Cardona, to the Arturo Velázquez Institute on October 13th, marking Hispanic Heritage Month. And what a visit it was. They toured along with the governor, the mayor, along with Congressman Garcia. They got a chance to speak directly to our instructors, directly to our students, for not just a minute, but extended conversations about what brought them to city colleges, what their aspirations are for the future. Faculty, explaining in detail, the process they go through and the partnerships that have been built. And obviously both programs we visited highlighted partnerships that we had in horticulture and electrical construction technology. And so, I really want to, the First Lady at one moment, pulled to the forefront in the electrical technology training program, the 1 and 2 women that were in the group, and challenged our labor partner too, IBEW, to, get more, right? And asked them, what was it about their experience that, brought them here. And so it was wonderful. It was engaging. It was challenging. And it was, delightful. And we all know that, and she said to us that as a community college professor herself, she felt very much at home at City Colleges of Chicago. And, that I think is something to celebrate. I want to recognize President Janowski for, her efforts. A visit like this is not easy to coordinate. Yes. It is not easy to coordinate. And the dean over there of AVI, Alicia Rodriguez, who, spent the better part of a week caretaking to Secret Service and the many details with Secret Service. And so both President Janowski, the Dean Alicia Rodriguez, other members of the Daly team, as well as the district team, that helped us prepare for that visit. A very successful visit. But on that very same day, we headed up north to the Innovation One Technology Training and Research Center at Truman College. So it was really a special day, and President Jackson and his team spearheaded this partnership with Apple. And what a partnership it is. I mean, if you haven't gone up to this Innovation One Center at Truman, please make the time to go see it. You got a loaning library for technology equipment. You got training labs for in-person, remote, and flex instruction. You've got a studio that you've got a professional IT work environment. You got a podcast studio, and this was brought to us by Apple, right? It didn't come to a board report, right? Where we, had to procure it. And I think what makes this really special is that it increases access to, for students to technology, something we know they want more and more of, obviously. But it's one of several things we've been doing, as you've heard, to increase student access to technology. The other thing that's wonderful about this is it's another example, and a shining one in that, of our colleges working together. I really want to thank, President Son Jackson and his team, his fellow college presidents, for bringing this asset not just to Truman, but to city colleges of Chicago. So we're going to have, sites at Kenny King. We're going to have sites at Al Harvey. We're going to have a site at AVI. And maybe in the future we'll have a site at all the colleges of Innovation One, right? That's the spirit that's driving our collective work together. When we speak about 7 Strong, that's what we're speaking to, right? This approach that makes the sum greater than the parts. So if you talk about sum greater than parts, a few days later, we released the first progress report for the Chicago Roadmap. This is our unprecedented partnership with Chicago Public Schools. And in our first year, and I do want to get into a little bit of detail because this matters, but look at the report, right? What you're going to see is 25 working groups between CPS and CCC. This is not about just high-level leadership. This is about, getting in where it matters, where, we can really, make strides with academic readiness, career exploration, and student supports. We launched transitional English curriculum, 13 high schools serving 862 students. That wasn't happening before. We expanded transitional math from 500 students in 13 schools to 3,031 students in 50 CPS high schools in FY21. And saw a 12% increase in students passing. So not only are we growing the number of students, but we're growing the number of students that are actually passing. That means we were going to have more students heading in to our institution that are college ready, and that's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. We launched a 15-credit healthcare model pathway, with the help of the Malcolm X team, making sure that, these incredible pathways that we have at Malcolm X in healthcare, get made available to students at 8 CPS high schools. This is a high-quality operation, just like the high-quality work that we're doing over at Malcolm X every day. We launched a pre-apprenticeship program designed to support students' career exploration, new virtual dual credit courses. We've got our post-secondary navigators. That work grew. You heard about that in the Vice Chancellor's report. There's a lot of good things in there. And so we really want to commend all of the stakeholders. Colleges themselves do a lot of the important work to realize the Chicago Roadmap at the ground level. And of course, Peggy Carell, that's our AVC High School Partnerships, and our Chicago Roadmap Director, Katie Dorpinghouse, who shepherd that through on a day-to-day basis. So whole report can be viewed at chicagoroadmap.com/progress if you'd like to do that, read through it. I want to point out, some important things going on. We're just talking about the nursing program. Early results, first and second quarter composite results show 92% of the students in the associate's degree in nursing program passed the test at Malcolm X College in the nursing program. That's what those students that are come through the roadmap have to look forward to, right? A high-quality operation, at the institution. Thank you, President Sanders, Dean Scott Brand, Malcolm X students, faculty, and staff. Here's another one. Big deal. Big deal. This is a big deal, okay? Wright College became one of just 10 institutions nationwide to earn the Seal of Excelencia certification this year. This is a big deal. I know the folks that have put together this Seal of Excelencia. The seal signifies that the college is modeling behavior that is needed to accelerate Latino student success. And I know they put a rigorous process together. I know that that process looks at many things that are happening at the college. It's a high bar, President Pochash, and Wright College and your team have met that high bar and are the first college in our city college system to get the seal of Excelencia. But I don't believe it'll be the last college at City College to get the seal of Excelencia. And so, as we do, work with your colleagues, make sure they know the contributing factors so that we can see more of our institutions getting the seal of Excelencia in the future. Because that's what we're doing in Seven Strong. We're working together, better together, stronger together. We're going to continue to move forward. I also want to point out that our work with others is always important in the ecosystem. So we got a new program at Wright College announced with Discovery Partnership Institute to develop diverse tech talent in Illinois. Rolled out the first workshop in a series that's being called Discover Computing, designed to get high school students thinking about careers. Here's another thing we're doing with the ecosystem. We saw the first 7 students awarded with the first Hope Chicago scholarships. That includes tuition, books, laptops, spending money. If you haven't heard about Hope Chicago, it's a new philanthropy now headed by our good friend and incredible leader, CPS CEO, Dr. Janice Jackson. And what she is trying to do and will do together, working with us, is ensure that every student that wants a post-secondary education can actually afford to get one and has the resources to get through it. And not only that, but the parents of those students, too, get supported to get their education. And so we'll be collaborating very closely with Dr. Janice Jackson to go way beyond the 7 students to make sure that that dream is actually realized. I know I have a longer than usual report today, but October was an extraordinary month. And one of the big reasons why is I got a communication from Truman College that let me know about your work, student trustee Imran Fazl-Hoque, that you reported on in your report, or that your team reported on your report, and you were able to express. But I want to also express congratulations for the 5 pieces of original reporting that you are doing and have done at the Pulitzer Center's website, and for sharing your experience, which I'm sure is not an easy thing to do, okay? Something that causes you to go into deep reflection and memory for you and for many others from your diaspora that have experienced, very powerful things, right, in your life. And so I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for, digging into that space, right, and being willing and open to sharing that. And writing is a powerful tool. And as you say in one of your pieces, writing is healing. And I do hope it has been healing in so many ways. I encourage everyone to read Imran's articles at thepulitzercenter.org. They're beautifully written. They're moving. I'm proud we have this relationship with the Pulitzer Center. I'm, just beyond delighted that you are our student trustee in this particular year. As if fate would have it, it was Truman's turn, right? And therefore your turn. As you heard today, earlier today in the committee meeting, we heard from our Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management, Darrell Williams, about the preliminary fall enrollment data. I'm not going to go into it because there's an entire presentation. We record them. Please view it, right? I do want to point out that we heard from President Hollingsworth and Thomas as Kennedy King and Olive Harvey both grew in fall credit enrollment, okay? Credit enrollment for the first time in over 10 years. Again, encourage you to view the presentation. I want to turn our attention for a minute to the pandemic and thank everyone who's doing their part in our now 20-month fight against COVID. I particularly want to thank those who have turned in the proof of vaccination. If you've not done that, remember, then you must test weekly. I want to lift up, something incredibly positive is that, City College faculty and staff has reached 85% vaccination, okay? And at this point, we're at 93% of our employees being compliant with our vax or test mandate, and that is only going to grow in the next few days. And so that's great news. I'm really hopeful that we'll reach 100% in the coming weeks. Student vaccination and compliance right now is at 51%. It's growing. However, it lags significantly behind that of our employees. Our presidents are working diligently with the district offices to ensure that we engage students, to ensure they are well informed and supported. As you know, the next few weeks will be critical as the student disciplinary process, runs its course. And so we'll be very focused on that. Also, I want to welcome our Inspector General, Lamisha Smith. I think this is her first presentation that will be done here as Inspector General. Thanks for taking on this assignment during the middle of the pandemic, for the work that you do to ensure that we at City Colleges operate in a fair, efficient way that is faithful to our values, and we look forward to your report. And finally, I want to recognize the passing of Dr. Timothy Black. Dr. Black was a civil rights leader, a historian, a City College's staff person and professor for 20 years, and of course a Chicago icon. He left this earth on October 13th at 102 years old, and as I will describe during the regular, I and the trustees will describe during the regular business portion of this meeting, we will be building a new scholarship program for adult learners in Dr. Black's honor. Our thoughts are with Dr. Black's family and his many family and friends for a lifetime of service. That does conclude my remarks for today. I did take a little while longer.
No, that was great. Thank you for so much. It's just wonderful to hear all the incredible work, the momentum, the progress. It has been quite a month, so thank you for sharing. It is now time for public participation. We have one request for public participation today. When your name is called, please proceed to the podium where you will have up to 3 minutes to make remarks on the subject that you indicated in your communication to the board office. The chief advisor will notify you when you've used 3 minutes of your time, and then please bring your remarks to a close. As you registered, you are each reminded of our procedures with regards to the nature of your comments. I'd ask that you respect and adhere to that direction and the time requirements. Chief advisor, please proceed with the list of speakers.
Jennifer Alexander. Jennifer Alexander. There are no more speakers.
Okay. We will then move to the faculty council report. Is Professor Spur here? Okay, I do not believe Professor Spur is here. All right, we will then move to district updates. We will have a presentation from our Inspector General, so Inspector General Smith. Please proceed with your presentation at the podium. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon to the board members, the chancellor, to the officers of the district and everyone present. I am Lamisha Smith. I am the Inspector General for CCC. I was appointed in December of 2020, and I have worked for CCC OIG since December 2010. So today I'm just going to provide a brief overview of the OIG as well as provide some data from FY 2021 regarding the OIG. Under the board bylaws, the OIG submits a biannual report regarding the 6 months of OIG's work. And so this presentation will focus on the two most recently passed reporting periods for the OIG, which would encompass FY 2021. So the OIG has 7 budgeted positions, including the Inspector General, the Assistant Inspector General, who is Anna Colazzo, and she's present here today, the Supervising Investigator, and 4 investigators of varying levels of experience. Powers and duties of the OIG. The OIG has the duty to, has the authority to conduct investigations regarding waste, fraud, misconduct, regarding any employees, officer, board member, anyone seeking to do business with CCC, as well as any programs regarding CCC. Here is a diagram of the typical cycle of a complaint that is received by the OIG. So when a complaint comes into the OIG, it is reviewed by the Inspector General and/or the Assistant Inspector General, where we will determine whether there is a policy violation identified. If there is not, we will close the complaint. We also will review to determine whether the complaint addresses a matter that is best handled by another department. If so, we will refer that to another department for handling, and we will then close the complaint within the OIG. If the complaint does focus on something that's within the OIG's purview, we will initiate the investigation, complete the investigation, and if it's not sustained, we will close it. If it is sustained, or if it's not sustained, but as a result of their investigation, recommendations need to be made, we will submit an investigative summary to the chair, the chancellor, as well as to the general counsel. And after review, the chancellor's office will then forward that report to the appropriate department or college to initiate the disciplinary process or to review any policy recommendations that we've made. And I want to highlight that it's very rare that no action is taken. So in FY 2021, the OIG received 126 complaints, the majority of which were received via email. Here is an outline of the subject matters of the complaints that the OIG received in FY 2021. And you'll see that the largest category was regarding fraud, varying aspects of fraud, and the second largest category being regarding residency. Here is a graph showing from FY 2015 through FY 2021, the complaints that the OIG received or initiated, which are depicted in the blue bars, and also the complaints that the OIG closed, which are depicted in the red bars. You will notice that in beginning calendar year 2020, the number of complaints did decline, and I believe that that is an effect of the pandemic, with the world basically being on shutdown, and with CCC workforce primarily being working from home and just not being around each other to make observations and to encounter each other, which may lead to OIG complaints. But I do want to highlight that despite the decline in complaints, the OIG remains proactive in detecting potential fraud, waste, and misconduct. And as of this morning, the OIG has 71 active investigations. Here, the shows that the OIG in FY 2021 closed 132 complaints, and we investigated 50% of those complaints that we received. Here is a chart basically breaking down the average number of days it took for the OIG to close complaints. And you will see, as is, it's broken down by the reporting periods. And as is with as is consistent with most reporting periods. The sustained cases and the not sustained cases are the ones that take the longest to complete because those are the ones we actively investigate, and investigations take time. In this slide shows the reports that the OIG submitted in FY 2021, and you'll see that there were varying subject matters regarding those. The subject matters of those reports varied, and it was regarding time and attendance, residency, theft, the board mandated residency audit, as well as 2 reports regarding now former vendors who engaged in wire fraud, which were then causes for debarment. Here is an outline of the results of those 6 reports that the OIG submitted, and you will notice that the majority of the reports have been acted upon, and the OIG thanks the administration for consistently following up on reports, reviewing OIG reports, and taking action. So far in calendar year 2021, the OIG, an OIG initiated investigation which was worked in partnership with the FBI as well as the U.S. Attorney's Office. As a result of that investigation, CCC has received $16,000 in restitution from 2 now former vendors who, after being indicted for wire fraud, they entered into deferments to defer prosecution, and within those agreements, they agreed to pay $15,000 each in restitution to CCC. And so one of those vendors has met their $15,000, and the other has paid $1,000 of it so far. And I also want to note that those 2 vendors were authorized for permanent debarment in August of this year by the board. Are there any questions?
Yes. Are complaints covered, particularly complaints that come from internal sources, are they covered by whistleblower protections?
Well, we, as the OIG, we also, we investigate retaliation. There is a protection against retaliation. So if someone makes a complaint and they believe that they've been retaliated against for making that complaint, we will investigate that as well.
Do most of the complaints come from internal, or they come from the public?
There's a variety, but I will say that the majority is internal.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Trustee Williams, will you now please give the Academic and Student Affairs Committee report?
My pleasure. Earlier this afternoon, we held the Committee on Academic Affairs and Student Services meeting. It was a productive and informative meeting. Provost Potter opened the presentation with a number of updates and introduced Darrell Williams, not me, Dr. Darrell Williams, who must be a fabulous person. I know that. Vice Chancellor for Enrollment. V.C. Williams gave an excellent presentation on CCC's enrollment, which included a fall 2021 enrollment snapshot as well as state and national benchmarking. V.C. Williams noted that enrollment is an issue for most community colleges and universities, given the challenging context of the ongoing pandemic. CCC's headcount enrollment declined 5% in fall 2021 compared to the prior fall. However, CCC experienced a slightly lower rate of decline for fall credit undergraduate enrollment compared to national 2-year public colleges. V.C. Williams reported significant enrollment increases at both Olive Harvey and Kennedy King, and the college presidents shared their successful enrollment strategies with the committee. In addition to specific strategies at each college, CCC is employing central strategies to continue to grow enrollment, which include investment in the Chicago Roadmap and Future Ready. The Chicago Roadmap is positively impacting enrollment among early college-age students, while Future Ready is attracting more adult learners. Future enrollment management efforts will simultaneously focus on new and returning students and include multiple strategies. Goals include colleges to meet or exceed a 30% yield rate, as well as an additional 5 to 7 percentage point increase in spring to fall retention rates. The committee also reviewed and discussed the resolutions, personnel report, resource development report, agreements, and legal invoices contained in the November regular board meeting packet that is being brought before the board today. Vice Chair Swanson, that concludes the report.
Thank you. Thank you, Trustee Williams. And again, thank you to DC Williams. It was an incredible presentation. As the Chancellor said, I encourage you to go watch the video if you did not see it, the recording. We will now proceed to consider the items on the November 4th, 2021 consent agenda. The substantive details have been posted on the board website, consistent with our practice. This month, all items for board action are also printed on the paper, which people hopefully picked up outside of this room. I would note again for the record that these items were discussed in detail in the committee meeting immediately preceding this board meeting, as noted in the committee report. Chancellor Salgado and fellow trustees will present Resolution 1.03, which honors Dr. Timuel Black, distinguished educator, community leader, and historian. Please proceed, Chancellor Salgado.
So, resolution to honor the memory of Dr. Timuel Black. Whereas Dr. Black was a distinguished educator, community leader, and historian, having devoted the last 2 decades of his professional career to the students, faculty, and staff of City Colleges of Chicago, and student trustee?
Whereas Dr. Black was born in Alabama, but raised in the historic Bronzeville community on Chicago's South Side, attending Burke Elementary School, DuSable High School, Roosevelt University, and the University of Chicago. And
whereas Dr. Black served honorably as a soldier in World War II, fighting in the Battle of the Bulge, receiving 4 Bronze Stars for his distinguished service and the prestigious Croix de Guerre with Palms for his heroic service on the beaches of Normandy. And whereas Dr. Black was a leader in the civil rights movement, coordinating Chicagoans attending the March on Washington at the request of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and leading the Negro American Labor Council's Chicago chapter at the suggestion of A. Philip Randolph, including a campaign to integrate the trade programs at the Chicago Board of Education's Washburn Trade School. And
whereas after serving as a Chicago Public Schools teacher, Dr. Black was appointed Dean of Wright College in 1969 and held several other roles at city colleges over the next 20 years, including Vice President for Academic Affairs at Olive Harvey College, Director and Chairperson of Community Affairs, and a professor at Loop College, which changed its name to Harold Washington College, in part due to Dr. Black's influence and advocacy, retiring in 1989, and
whereas Dr. Black personally influenced and mentored the careers of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Mayor Harold Washington, and President Barack Obama. And he coined the phrase plantation politics in his fight to democratize the political process and achieve full participation of African Americans. And
whereas Dr. Black's book, Bridges of Memory, Chicago's First Wave of Great Migration, covers the history of Black Chicagoans during the 1920s to the present. And whereas Dr. Black passed away at age 102 on October 13th, 2021. And
Whereas City College's plans to honor Dr. Black's memory with a new scholarship supported by the City Colleges of Chicago Foundation. The Dr. Timuel Black Scholars Program will be offered at all 7 colleges and will support adult learners with current and/or past community and civic engagement and those with aspirations to drive change in their communities.
Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Colleges of Chicago Board of Trustees honor Dr. Black and the Black family with this recognition in his memory.
Thank you, trustees, and thank you, Chancellor Salgado. At this time, does any trustee have questions or comments on any other items listed on the consent agenda or wish for separate action on any of these items?
Yes, Vice Chair Swanson, I would appreciate separate action on, I believe it's 4.08, which is the insurance.
Okay.
Is that correct? 4.08?
Is that right? No. Okay. Bonnie, how do you want me to pull it out? Just, no, I got to exclude 4.08. 4.08. Okay, so may I please first have a motion to approve the resolutions, the personnel report, resource development report, various agreements, purchases, and legal invoices contained in the consent agenda, including resolution 1.03, which we just did, but excluding 4.08.
Second.
Thank you. And will the chief advisor please call the roll?
Vice Chair Swanson?
Approved.
Secretary Davis?
Approved.
Trustee Kent?
Approve.
Trustee Lopez?
Approved.
Trustee Tillman?
Approved.
Trustee Williams?
Approved.
Trustee Basil Holt?
Approved.
Chair Massey, approved.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, then I will take another action. So may I have a motion to approve resolution 4.08?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Now will the chief advisor please call the roll?
Chair Massey?
Approved.
Vice Chair Swanson?
Approved.
Secretary Davis?
Approved.
Trustee Kent?
Approve.
Trustee Lopez?
Approved.
Trustee Tillman?
Approved.
Trustee Williams? Recused.
Abstain.
Okay, abstain. And student trustee Basil
Approved.
Holt?
Okay, thank you all. Please let the record show that the resolutions, personnel report, the resource development report, the agreements, purchases, and legal invoices included on the printed November 4th, 2021 consent agenda, including resolution 1.03, have all been approved. The board has no business to discuss in closed session, therefore we will not adjourn to closed session today. And there being no further business to come before the board, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.